Hi guys, Jacob here, back at it again with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be going through the steps of how to set up an online reselling business. I'm going to predominantly focusing around Vinted and eBay. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. So irrespective of all the stuff that you see here, the first thing you need to do in order to start your online reselling journey is make a profile. So whether that be on Vinted or eBay, the sooner you start the profile, the better. And especially with eBay, because the longer you've had your eBay account open, the more trustworthy it is. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But the first step is just to make one. So get them made as soon as we can. In regards to the stuff that we need to sell, there's not too much that we need. We need a mobile phone, access to the internet, maybe a weighing scale, a few packing supplies. So the next sort of step that you would need is to find a quality product in order to list it. So when I'm talking about a quality product, something that's easy to list, easy to package, and nice and easy to send. So for example, like we could be talking about like a little bit of media like this, so either DVDs or games. These are very easy to list, very easy to package. A lot of the modern stuff that you're selling, like I've sold a lot of vintage stuff, and this don't count, but a lot of the modern stuff, you can scan the barcode, it'll bring it up, it'll bring up the description, it'll bring up the specifics for this item, and it does a lot of the legwork for you, but you can't do that with everything. But what we can do is get a feel for the selling process by selling a few little easy to list, easy to package, easy to send items such as this. And I'd try and list a few items of this sort of caliber, small items, easy to sell, easy to package, just so you get a feel for how the listing process works. So whether that's Vinted or eBay, so you can just get a little feel for it, and kind of like iron out all the kinks in there. However, whatever you are selling, we need to ensure that we have the packing supplies ready to go for it. So for example, I got a load of these bags from eBay. I think I got 100 of them for like £20, maybe even less. Could have been 14, 15. And they're just perfect for little bits of media and a few other items, sort of thing. So whatever you are listing, make sure you've got the products to package it and send it on its way. Because especially with eBay, obviously you're going to get good reviews for a fast delivery, but when it comes to eBay, in order to boost your seller rating, we want quick and efficient deliveries, professional packaging, and like happy customers, so they give us feedback. So the best way to do that is to have the supplies on hand for whatever you are selling, just so we can, as soon as it sells, get it packaged and get it sent on its way. So you've made your first sale. How do we go moving on to the next step in terms of packaging, labeling, and sending it? So if we're talking about the vintage side of things, it's pretty easy. All we'd have to do is package the goods safely, securely, professionally. Get the QR code through our mobile phone through the Vinted app. Take the QR code to your nearest drop-off store. You'll be able to present the QR code to the shop owner behind the counter. They can scan the QR code. It'll generate a label with the customer's name and address on it, all ready to go. We can stick it on the parcel, and that's happy days. eBay is slightly more difficult, and the reason why that's more difficult is purely because it's not as forgiving in regards to the weight. So on eBay, when we send in packages, there is a few categories. So we've got the under 1 kilo category, we've got the 1 to 2 kilo category, and then the 2 to 5 and beyond sort of thing. And in between all those categories, it's a different price for sending things. So like I have just generic kitchen scales here. I could do with packing scales, but for the time being, these have been very, very handy. They go up to 10 kilogram. So in regards to most of my parcels, these have been handy. What do you do if the parcel weighs more than 10 kilograms, or you suspect it does? Like if it shows error on there, what would I do? I'd use my home scales, like that you would just normally stand on. So I'll weigh myself without the product in my hand, and then I'll pick the product up, weigh myself again, and then I'll take the first figure away from the second figure. Hey presto, you got your number, you got your weight. But your first sale is going to be the key to be able to progress this business, because you're going to learn from it. You're going to be able to adapt your process around it, and every subsequent sale, you'll be able to just streamline your workflow a little bit better around getting the items in and getting the items out. As we try to grow this business, we want to be speaking to potential customers in a professional manner, which will then increase our seller rating, and try and get to customers, reply to customers in a timely manner within 24 hours or less. So that's going to boost your seller rating, boost you trustworthy through eBay, and also drive more custom to your store by just being a little bit more professional and courteous to customers. When sending parcels, especially if it's light, small, and within the recommended ranges for Royal Mail large letter, I'd always recommend sending it, if it's feasible to do within the fees, I would always recommend sending it tracked, purely because as a new seller, it's just good to for you and the customer to see where the parcel is when it gets delivered, and if there's any problems down the line, you can kind of use that as evidence to back yourself up. Always consider using the tracked option, because although it's going to be slightly more expensive down the line, it's likely to help you out in regards to your seller rating, getting that boosted. When we are packaging the item, we need to ensure that we do it safely and securely. So this ensures that the package gets to the customer in the exact way that we described it. So as I've been working, I didn't start with this setup. I'll talk to you about that in a second. As I've been working, I've worked out a little bit. I've kind of streamlined the way that I work. So I've got void fill, bubble wrap, various sizes of boxes. Just out of your view, I've got another few sizes of boxes, and I also reuse Amazon boxes for items. This is something that I packed earlier. I bought this is 2 boxes of Lego. I bought them for £8 on the eBay auction, and they sold for £30 today. So happy days on that. As long as the box are secure, and not too tight, do reuse other boxes where possible, because a lot of this stuff can be expensive, and it's just better for the environment to reuse boxes for sure. The sort of supplies that you might need on top of boxes is you're going to definitely need tape. Forget about the gun. You don't really need that sort of side of things. However, you do need packing tape, and I'd always recommend fragile tape. So when it comes to breakables, that sort of stuff, putting a bit of fragile tape kind of helps the guys not really Ace Ventura your package a little bit. If you know, you know. You can buy tape in various amounts off eBay. I've actually got 36 rolls of this coming in the next few days. A couple more bubble wraps. But as you do, don't go all out at first. Just get literally just some tape. You can do it by hand, chop it with scissors, and that'll get you done. Alternatively, if you do start selling a few more packages, this is very, very handy. It kind of streamlines the workflow a little bit just to be able to. So do consider that, but it's not a necessity. I'm trying to help you guys out to get started with as little fees as possible, like with as little capital invested off the bat. Once an item sells, what we need to do from there is pick it, package it, make sure it's secure, get a label on it, whether that's via QR code or you're printing it off yourself. I recommend you doing it via QR code, so then it kind of takes away from the amount of money that you're spending. Let the shop print out the tickets for you. I do have a thermal printer there, but I wanted to make sure I made enough sales to buy the thermal printer for it to pay for itself in the future. But I'd recommend you considering that, but way down the line. You want to just kind of bring in some profit first before you start splurging out on other little bits and bats. I made the mistake of splurging out on a few bits and bats that I didn't necessarily need at the time. I definitely need it now, but I didn't necessarily need it at the time. So definitely take your time with it, grow into the business, learn how to streamline your workflow, and you'll make yourself a more happy reseller. After dropping off your parcel, make sure you get it scanned, you collect the receipt. So what I do in regards to receipts is um, I have like a box here. It says sent. So like when I've collected my receipts, I kind of stuff them in here, and at the end of the month, I'll put them in a money bag and file it away. Like add it to my spreadsheet, file it away with the rest of the receipts and all that sort of stuff, just for when it comes to end of the tax year because I'm already over the tax bracket for to get taxed on this. Obviously, I work a full time job. This is part time, so I'm definitely going to be paying tax on all of this. So I just need to make sure I keep the receipts. And speaking about receipts, we also want to be keeping receipts on business expenses, so shipping supplies, internet usage, buying of the stock. All these can go against the business, which will bring your tax bill down. Kind of optimizing the cash flow and that sort of thing. So you've packed, labeled, and sent your first parcel. What do we do from here? So we need to wait. So when it comes to Vinted and eBay, especially when you're a new seller, what's going to happen is eBay or Vinted are going to withhold the funds until the buyer receives the package and states that everything's all good. After a certain amount of time, the funds will get released into your bank account. So don't just think, oh, straight away you're going to get the money. You might have to sit on it a few days before the money comes. And you can minimize this time on eBay, especially. Vinted is a completely different story. Vinted, the customer has to get it, accept it, and be happy with the product before they release the money. However, with eBay, um, these things here was bought today, I'm going to send them tomorrow. More than likely, the funds are going to be released to me before I send them because I'm a trustworthy seller. eBay knows I'm not, unless something really bad happens. eBay knows that these packages can get to the shop. They can release the funds, allow me to get that capital reinvested into the business. What we can do to minimize the time for the turnover of the money in regards to eBay is become a more trustworthy seller. So sell more items, sell them on time, get them delivered on time, try and get early delivery. Early delivery is going to give us better reviews from customers. Better reviews equals higher seller ratings. So just bear that in mind when you're packaging supplies, when you're packaging parcels, to try and get them out the door as soon as possible within a timely manner. That's pretty much it, but there is a caveat to all that information. We got to think about the dreaded return. So I've sold over 100 items easily. I've had 2 items being returned, quite expensive items, which is a little bit annoying because when we're over £100, the money got released to me. The customer wants a refund. Um, Essentially, I have to give them a refund. Like the way it works for sellers is you have to have a pretty damn good reason not to give a refund. And most of the time, eBay is going to side with the customer just to give the customer a little bit better experience using the site. So you always just got to have that in the back of your mind. Yeah, stuff might be flying out the door, but you always got to keep a little bit of money aside just in case a refund is needed. So just bear that in mind. The best way we can protect ourselves against a return is an accurate item description, accurate pictures, and as much like specifics as possible. In regards to clothes, we can even measure the clothes, like put the tape measure down, take photos, just so people aren't buying something that they're likely to return very, very soon. I think that's pretty much everything. Make sure you got yourself a scale if I haven't mentioned it, just so you can get yourself in the right category in regards to packages on eBay. But before I do a little bit of a recap, I'd like to thank our sponsor for this video. And that sponsor is me, Jacob Resells. So if you don't already know, I'm doing a giveaway for two £10 Costa like gift cards. I'm going to be drawing on the 9th of July, and all you need to do to be entered is subscribe. So I'll do a random roll of the subscribers, and 2 separate people will win. Unlikely, but if it draws the same name twice, I'll do a re-roll just so 2 people can win a free cake and a free coffee on me. So make sure you get yourself subscribed for a chance to win. A quick little recap of what went over on this video for you to start an online business. First step, start those profiles. So whether it's on Vinted or eBay, I suggest Vinted first for the reasons I said earlier. It's a little bit more forgiving, easier to work with. eBay's probably got a lot more customers looking at your products, but just start off, get a feel for reselling, packaging, labeling stuff through Vinted, and then move on to eBay. But I would start if you're doing that. I would make your eBay account at the same time as you make the Vinted account, and that way, your eBay account's already getting age, which increases the trustworthiness. Next, find a quality product, sell the stuff around you, old games, collectibles, stuff that you've got around you that's easy to package, easy to take photographs of, easy to sell, and easy to get out the door. That way, you're not starting off with big bulky things which are a little bit more difficult to package and get out the door. When we're listing, make sure we're taking a photograph on a nice, clean white background. That'll increase the amount of footfall that come to your listings. Don't think that you need anything like this. This is just essentially a workbench that I put a bit of vinyl. I put a bit of hardboard on the wall, put a bit of vinyl on there. I started off with a sheet and a platform. So I threw the sheet over one side, draped it down over the platform, and I was taking photos on there. Try and get as much light in as you can in the photos. That's always going to help. But make sure it's clean white background, and you don't need to do anything like this. This is just how I've kind of streamlined my workflow to make it a little bit better. And if you're an OG viewer, you'd remember the setup I had before all this. For the items that we are listing, let's make sure that we've got the packaging supplies ready to go, because there's no worse than selling an item and then running around scratching your head on how you're going to get it to the drop off point, purely because the quicker we get it out the door, the quicker the customer gets it in hand, the quicker you get paid, the more likelihood we're getting a good review coming in, which is then going to bolster your seller trustworthy score and help you out in the future in regards to listings, amount of listings you can do, and the time it takes to turn over the money. Label the package using the store's self-printing labels, or the store owners like Scanner. They can print off the labels for you, or it already puts the customer's name and address on there. You just need to stick it on your parcel, and away it goes. When you do finally send the package, make sure you keep the receipt, and keep them together in one location. And as the months roll on, or depending on how many packages you sell, maybe by week, just kind of keep them all together, just in case down the line there's a customer that says it didn't arrive. You can kind of show proof that you did send it. And especially if you send it tracked, there's always the receipt plus the tracking behind it. So make sure you keep those receipts. A big part of selling online is the reviews that you have, and we can kind of encourage customers to give us reviews by us giving them reviews as buyers. So what I can do, what I started doing at first is, after a buyer buys something, I'd say something along the lines of "Pleasure dealing with you. Hopefully we do business again," and that kind of like prompts them to give us feedback, hopefully positive. It's going to boost those seller ratings, which will then get more footfall to your listings, which results in more sales. Ensure that we treat customers professionally. The better we treat customers, the better it looks on us, the more likely we're going to get positive reviews. Treating customers professionally is going to get us get our seller ratings boosted up. So just bear that in mind. And essentially, rinse and repeat, and then scale that process up. So when I'm talking about rinse and repeat, get more items, list them, get them sell it, get stuff in, get stuff out. How do we source certain items? Like I've been using Vinted, charity shops. I'm about to start going to car boots, and I've got a huge box here. Like I can't even lift the box. It's probably like 4 foot long, and 1.5 to 2 feet wide, full of stuff that I've been buying over the last 2 weeks from eBay auctions, and I've got maybe 20 more items coming. I'm going to be doing a massive haul, so stay tuned for that in the next few days. A massive haul of all this stuff from the eBay auction source stuff. And if you have any ideas or where people can source things, drop it down below because it'll help everyone else out, including me. So hopefully you found a tip in this video helpful, whether you're a beginner or pro or reselling. Hopefully I explained it half decent and you kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. And if you did, feel free to drop a like and a subscribe. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.